And welcome back. I just want to say a special good morning to our guest, camera woman today. Yeah, she's saying, no, don't say anything. Don't worry, I won't call your name. But she looks fabulous behind the camera, and she's doing lots of stuff to ensure that, of course, the program runs smoothly today. Special good morning to her. And just a quick reminder, folks, if you need to email me, you can do so through two email addresses. The first is chitchat@columbusgrenada.com, and the other is chitchattvshow@gmail.com. Hopefully later on today you can also catch a repeat of this program 5 p.m. and this is such an interesting segment on the show today. No doubt we'll have this available on our YouTube channel as well. So we're moving on to another something else that's currently on island, because I personally know of a few persons who have been affected by dengue fever within the last few weeks or so. And this time I'm going to move over to Dr. Worm. Dr. Worm was like, this lady keep getting my name wrong all morning. Mr. Andre Worm. I tell you. You see, Mr. Worm, you're so... Let me see if I can make a good comeback here. You're so versed in your area, you know. I feel like you're a doctor.
Oh,
was that a good comeback?
I try to be, yeah.
That's a good comeback, right?
I'm flattered though.
Oh yeah, Mr. Andre Worm, Chief Environment Officer. Mr. Worm, let's talk about dengue.
Right.
I know there's been quite a few cases on island, and what can you tell us? We know the story. I've known this since I was this high. You know, you teachers, they'll tell you about it. They tell you about changing water in your vase and making sure that you don't have still water around your compound. Tell us a little bit about dengue fever, what we need to be mindful of.
Okay. Well, first of all, let me say that dengue is a disease that is endemic to Grenada and you can even say the Caribbean.
Yeah.
That means really that this virus continues to circulate in the country all year round. And from time to time, we have cases that go above what is our normal threshold.
Yeah.
And of course, we would call that an outbreak, more than what we are accustomed to seeing, and so on. Just to give you an idea as to what transpired is that in September, in addition to the increased respiratory illnesses, because dengue also has some of the symptoms and signs similar to persons coming down with respiratory illness. Of course, you would have fever, you would have joint pains, muscle pain, you can have loss of appetite, you can have headache in some instances, and those are all typical symptoms that you may have persons coming down with a common cold, may just feel real sick and so on. And so this disease is actually circulating, but what we noticed in September again, that there was an upsurge in the number of cases, or the incidence, the number of new cases that we were seeing. And for example, in 1 week, I think there were as many as 22 cases.
Wow.
Yeah, in 1 week. The national cumulative situation is at the moment about 125 cases thus far for 2013. Compared to the entire 2012, we had something in the vicinity of 85 cases. So really and truly, our numbers are going up. However, just this morning we were in a meeting and the epidemiologist was indicating that we were seeing a slight decline in the incidence of cases, So really and truly, we can say that the outbreak is more or less on the decline. I can also tell you that the Ministry of Health, in terms of our response, we have been doing a lot of entomological surveillance, that is dealing with the control of the mosquitoes. We had the vector control teams going out to the various communities, continue to treat containers, continue to fog. We had a number of fogging operations in many of the communities, many of them where these cases were identified.
Right.
Now, I must say that fogging is primarily an emergency response, because what fogging does is to knock down the adult Aedes aegypti mosquito.
Right.
The thing is, once an adult Aedes aegypti, and primarily a female, takes a blood meal, and you know, once it becomes infected with the dengue virus, it remains infective for life.
Wow.
All right. So the fact is, an infected Aedes aegypti mosquito is a dangerous mosquito because it remains infected for life. So this is basically an emergency response where we try to knock down the adults so we can break the cycle of transmission. If there are no or less adults around, there are less mosquitoes to bite and take blood meal and then to transmit the viruses and so on. So this is really a primary response. Nonetheless, we would like to appeal to all homeowners to take the necessary action, because the fact that you may come down with with dengue, probability exists that you have the virus possibly circulating in your vicinity and the mosquito.
Yeah.
So you would need to take all action to get rid of the Aedes aegypti mosquito around your home. The Aedes aegypti mosquito breeds primarily in clean water. So persons with drums and so forth around the home, drums and buckets and pails, need to have them covered. You need to ensure your flower vases are, you know, possibly put them in soil rather than having them in water. And then if you watering those plants, do not overwater the plants so that the excess water remains in the container at the bottom. Right. So these are some of the measures that persons can take. Of course, if you are sick, you can go, probably sleep under a bed net to prevent, the mosquitoes from biting you and maybe transmitting to other family members. You can use insect repellents to keep the insects off and so on. But we definitely have to emphasize the fact of source reduction, getting rid of all the breeding sources around your home. I think that's critical. Yeah. Now, I need to say that, sometimes we have this socio-economic situation or stigmatize certain things and say, well, maybe we don't have pails and pans and pots and whatnot and drums around our homes, so I may not have Aedes aegypti. But yeah, you may have your, exotic plants inside and other things. So hence the reason you may also have the Aedes aegypti. Right. So it's a call for everyone, really. So it's not only for persons where there's no water or has a problem with water supply, and you need to store water in drums and pails, etc. So it's a call for everyone.
Right. I know we're almost out of time, Mr. Worm, but one other thing that I didn't realize until I was doing some research was that particular mosquito that carries that virus only really does the damage during the day, sunrise to sunset. It's like a daytime mosquito, correct?
Yes, it is. Primarily the day-biting mosquito. However, what you can find though is if there is sufficient artificial lighting, for example, in a room and you have high fluorescent lighting, you may find them flying again because they would think it is, it's daytime. Yeah. So chances are you could be bitten by an Aedes aegypti in the night also, depending on your lighting. Okay. Okay,
fantastic. Well, gentlemen, we're out of time, unfortunately, but I'm ever so grateful for both of you, not just one, but having both of you together in studio with me this morning. And thank you to your assistant, the assistant, who made all of this possible. But viewers, certainly hope you've gained some more knowledge and some more information pertaining these two viruses, the H1N1 virus and dengue fever. Remember to do what you can to protect yourself and your family. You heard Mr. Worm, keep it simple. Don't go all overboard trying to do all the things that you think is going to protect you in some magical way, but just continue to practice proper hygiene and stay healthy. Thank you so much, Dr. Louisan and Mr. Worm, not Dr. Worm. Thank you so much. Have a great day. All right, folks, you're very welcome. You're welcome. We're going to take a short break. When we return, I have my buddy Rodney Piper Bartholomew stopping by to chat about two of his musical, I call him a musical genius because he's here to chat about two of his recently released tracks, Where I'm From and Ligaroo. We'll be right back.